I'm gonna turn that setting back on. So what that thing was doing was like, this makes me want to bring up RTX voice. Like, okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so there's a setting on Zoom, right, and it says to spotlight my video whenever I speak, which actually is necessary in order for this kind of video podcasting to work. Like, so,
Mm.
um, and so I didn't realize that it didn't do that by default, but RTX voice, um, what it's supposed to do is anything that's not me, it's supposed to just like kill out. Um, and so I use RTX voice. I've gotten into the habit of using RTX voice a lot um, when I'm streaming or actually I mean all the time when I'm streaming. I'll just kind of have it on by default. Um, but it was cool. Like the fact that I can even use RTX voice is really fucking cool, right? Because I don't even have an RTX video card. I have a GTX 1080, and so you kind of have to jump through some hoops to get RTX voice working on non RTX cards. It's actually kind of simple if you know where to like get the information. It's like a PC Gamer article that like pretty much directs you right to like this file that becomes available when you try to install it. And installer pretty much is like, hey, you don't have an RTX card, you can't do this. It like extracts all these files onto like your hard drive, and one of those files is like a notepad file that you can get into, and there's a value in there that specifically looks for RTX cards, and you just simply delete it and then save the file and then run the installer again, and it works perfectly fine.
Hmm.
And so shout out to whoever found that. And like oh, and Nvidia is actually aware of that loophole, and they don't even care. They're just like, well, we don't support it, good luck. So
Right. It's like you can try out ray tracing on your GTX card.
well, they actually unlocked it. Like, oh, that's true. Actually, yeah, and like, I guess I hadn't even thought about it that way because like, with with ray tracing, they just kind of accepted that like people want to do it, so screw it, let them have it, and like, um, you don't have to jump through any bells and whistles to get access to it. You'll just have really terrible frame rates. Um,
Yeah.
but like with RTX voice, I was surprised to see that like they didn't just unlock it like for everybody, and I think that's because they still want to use it as a selling point, which like I guess like there's no performance loss from me using RTX voice on my video card, right? um and so to just like have that feature be accessible on like like easily accessible on non RTX cards effectively strips that whole selling point away. um And so I get that, but I appreciate that they still make it available. But anyway, the point is like, so I used it, and it works, but it works too well. And so like I could have it on like be like on really aggressively, and if I like speak with like a nice monotone radio voice, then it'll sound great. But I don't speak with a really monotone radio voice. You know what I mean? Like I fucking I scream sometimes. Sometimes like I'll just like barely be like I'll just like be mumbling or whatever, like just depending on my mood. Um and like it'll totally warble my voice. It'll just fucking lose it. And like, you can actually change how strong the RTX voice filters. So like if there's some sounds you want to get through, like some it'll let through, like maybe if I'm playing Tekken, it'll let through some of my arcade stick sounds. But like even still, like some of my favorite clips that I want to go back and look at, um, I will like be excited, or like even on, oh, there was like I was playing Call of Duty, and some dude, like me and my friend were like creeping up this stairway for like 30 or 45 seconds, and it was super suspenseful. And this dude eventually like saw me climbing up the stairs and shot me from like in between the stairs, and scared the fucking shit out of me, and I squealed. But RTX voice filtered it all out, and so I was like, well, that clip's trash now. But when we did our first episode of the Design Critics, um it was not able to like detect that some of the audio was coming from the speakers. And so all that audio that was coming out of the speakers, like us talking, the microphone just ate it all up, and RTX didn't detect it at all. And I had it set to like 70% strength or something, like, so maybe 80, 75, 80 between there. But like same as I normally do, and it wasn't it like it the echo went through the whole entire episode. And so it's some interesting software, but like I would like to see them fine tune it more, because it's a little robotic.
Well, maybe, Ray, you need to get that RTX card.
Yo, I mean, I was really thinking about it. That was one of the things that was gonna make me get it, and I'll still get it for ray tracing.